For visitors, when they come to Collins Barracks, it's very much about Irish history and looking at the military and political history of Ireland. That period between 1914 and 24, when the state was founded, and the events that led up to the foundation of the state, which is of course the 1916 Rising, the War of Independence, and then regrettably our own Civil War. Well, we have a lot of objects relating to 1916 and to the Rising. We have the proclamation, of course, which was issued on the eve of the Rising. We also have a lot of the objects relating to those involved, such as James Connolly's uniform, Padraig Pearse's hat and his gun that he was wearing when he surrendered. A lot of these things came in the 1940s and 1950s, presented by retired British Army officers who had confiscated them or taken them as trophies at the end of the Rising. We have the flag that flew over the GPO during the Rising. It's known as the Irish Republic flag. It flew over the GPO up to the final moments when the GPO went on fire. I think this is a really iconic object that you can kind of associate with the events of that week and the fire that took over the whole of O'Connell Street and the destruction. Almost £2 million worth of damage was done to Dublin at the time. The main Michael Collins object that we have is his grey coat that he was wearing the day he was shot at the end of the law on the 22nd of August 1922. But to have something that is associated with his death like that is quite dramatic. Our largest exhibition here is the Soldiers and Chiefs exhibition, which looks at the Irish soldier at home and abroad. The key stories that we'd like to talk about are the Irish experiences in other people's armies. Whether there have been many risings, rebellions in Irish history since 1550, most of the fighting that Irish soldiers and their families have done have been fought in other people's wars. What we have behind us is the section that deals with the Irish soldier in the 20th century. What we have is a jet plane, which is called a Vampire jet plane, which flew from 1956 to 76 in the Irish Air Corps, and there would have been 6 of these, very well known, remembered in Ireland, because the Easter week parade each year was held on O'Connell Street, and these jets would finish off the parade with a big bang as they flew over. We also have a range of vehicles that were used on UN operations in the Congo and Lebanon, and we talk about the experiences of the Irish Defence Forces on UN operations, who've lost almost 86 soldiers over 50 years. There's the outstanding silver galleries, which is the largest collection of Irish silver in the world on display, covering about 3,000 objects, covering the period from the 1690s up to the present day. Some outstanding pieces of decorative art. Upstairs from that, then we have the Way We Wore exhibition, which looks at the textiles that were worn by Irish women and men from about the 16th century up to the present day. We have a very large temporary exhibition space called the Riding School. We have the High Crosses exhibition on there at the moment, and we believe that during the medieval period that the crosses were used to teach people various parts of the Bible and the scripts. Of course, during the Gaelic revival of the 19th century, they become very much a symbol of Celtic Ireland and become very, very popular. To go around and see these high crosses yourself, you'd probably have to drive around Ireland maybe 400 or 500 miles. And luckily you can now come to the museum and walk within 50 metres and see all these wonderful high crosses. The museum took over the site in the late 1990s and of course has expanded ever since. And it's an outstanding example of a Georgian barracks. It was the first barracks that was established by the British Army, and at one stage was the longest and oldest occupied barracks in the world.